episode of Off the Script number 145, part number 3 for your Sunday, November 27, 2016. I got something that nobody has talked about yet since it happened. The original plan for Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series. Very, very different than what went down on Sunday night. I also got news on Daniel Bryan to be featured in more angles with more upcoming superstars on SmackDown Live. Also, Cesaro leaving the WWE. He vents big time on social media after WWE left him off a poster in his hometown during a WWE Live event. Also, Cody Rhodes wins his first match in Global Force Wrestling and becomes a major champion outside WWE. All this plus so much more on Off the Script.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
Thank you guys so much for joining me on episode 145 of Off the Script for your Sunday morning. Before we get into the news, guys, quickly, I just want to say you got 2 days left to get your t-shirts on Barbershop Window, man. 30% off. You guys have been tweeting me your pictures. You guys have been tweeting me that you're ordering. My email's going crazy. Barbershop Window's blowing up. JD is Negan is one of the hottest t-shirts this season on that website, man. Unfucking believable what you guys are doing in regards to buying that t-shirt. If you guys want your new merchandise, man, for Off the Script, JD is Negan. And don't sleep on that Dana Brooke design, man. Get off my TV version 5, Barbershop Window. Go to the website, barbershopwindow.com. Enter the coupon code Black Friday. You got up until Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to save 30% off your purchase, man. That's unbelievable savings. So if you guys have been on the fence about buying merchandise or t-shirts, get one for yourself, get one for your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, get one for the fucking cat and dog. Whatever, man. Do your holiday shopping, courtesy of JD, saving you some money. 30% off Barbershop Window. You guys have up until Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is barbershopwindow.com. Thank you guys for all that you do, making this one hell of a journey, man, and a successful channel and podcast, man. I thank each and every one of you. Now, I got something for you guys that nobody is talking about. We have discussed Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg in depth here, and I was at work on Saturday morning, and I listened to Jim Ross, and he had Mike Johnson of PW Insider on his show, on the Ross Report. They were talking about this entire situation. I was upset with this entire thing when it happened, and then when I started to hear their point of view about it. Same thing with The Undertaker when he lost his WrestleMania streak, man. I became a little bit more open to what happened. I don't like it. I still don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't like the way it ended, but I understand. I'm not a closed-minded fucking goon. I understand why it was done. Vince McMahon thought that this was going to be the one way out of every possible scenario that would get people talking. Jim Ross believes that Lesnar losing in a minute 25 is not going to harm him in any way. It's not going to harm him in any way. I think, looking back at it, it's not that bad of an idea. I don't agree with it for the reasons that you guys know. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to complain about it. I'm really not. The one thing that I do worry about, though, and I mentioned this when I did my Lesnar Goldberg video after the fact about how this entire thing became to be. If you guys missed out, I'll link it in the video. The one thing I'm concerned with is they're going to both be in the Royal Rumble. And if they do go to WrestleMania, Lesnar and Goldberg will only have 3 matches. This will be the 3rd match. If Lesnar does win, which I expect him to, then Goldberg is up 2-1. What does this mean? Is WWE going to continue this? Are they going to book something for SummerSlam? This is what they talked about as well. And I mentioned this in my video. And then I listened to these guys and they stated the same exact thing. Does that mean we're going to get a 4th match? Is Vince McMahon going to drive this into the ground just like he does everything else? And people after time are not going to care. You know, the interest is going to dip lower and lower and lower for this type of thing. But right now, you know, Jim Ross stated, you know, Brock Lesnar, to be honest with you, people are talking about Brock Lesnar more now than they have been in the last year. So, whatever they did, it worked. Goldberg is happy. And they mentioned that Brock and Goldberg, that Lesnar, you know, he comes off as this loner. He comes off as antisocial is what Jim Ross used, the exact terminology. And Lesnar is happy to be working with Goldberg because they are good friends. And the next thing that he said really said, you know what? There's no reason for me to be that upset about it. I obviously don't agree with it in terms of the Undertaker streak. But Lesnar is happy. He's happy to be working with Goldberg. They're good friends in real life. And Goldberg is happy because WWE is booking him exactly how he was being booked in WCW. And if you're working with someone who you call a dear friend, like these guys reportedly are, that means you're going to get a damn good Brock Lesnar when you got to fucking go into WrestleMania. He's going to be excited. He's going to be amped up. He's going to want to work. Same thing with Goldberg. They're going to do their best to put on the best fucking show possible. Now, I understand if you're making that kind of money and this and that, you should come to every show and against every opponent with that mentality. But it's going to be amplified even more being that you're working with somebody that you know and love. Same thing with Lesnar and The Undertaker. What they did was great. What they did was great. And that's why the Ambrose thing was kind of like, what the fuck was going on here? This is all we got at WrestleMania. Lesnar wasn't happy. WWE knew that that was a huge mistake, putting Ambrose against Lesnar. And the match came off the way it did because, you know, Ambrose reportedly had everything turned down. Everything he wanted to do was fucking just like, you know what, forget about it. We're not doing that. Lesnar went in there. He got paid big money to suplex Ambrose around in a glorified squash match at WrestleMania. But this time around, being that these guys both know each other in and out of the ring and they're good friends in real life and, you know, Paul Heyman adores Goldberg. Everybody is real life friends here. It's going to come off great. I think it's going to come off really, really well done. I hope WWE doesn't fuck it up. So I'm a little bit more open, and ever since that night on Sunday, I have become a little bit more open about the situation. I still don't agree with the Undertaker streak, just being like, you know what, whatever. And another thing I don't agree with is WWE and Vince McMahon, you know, playing the fans for fucking fools. They even documented this, and it's been reported. Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about the fans because, to him, the fans have short-term memories. You know? Who is he to say that, man? That's fucked up. You know, I'm not some fucking casual asshole who's watching the product. I take everything you guys do and I apply it with what you did in the past. And I take what you did in the past and I think ahead to the future. Maybe we should have more wrestling fans like us. Short-term memory. You mean to tell me that people forgot about The Undertaker's undefeated streak being broken at WrestleMania 30? Come on, man. It's not that far away. Or it's not that far long ago. Come on. Something that big. But that's another thing that pissed me off. But now I got the original plan here for Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Completely different than what we've seen. They wanted to go in a completely different direction. And this is exclusive information. I don't think anybody else has reported this. We all know Goldberg dominated Lesnar during the match at Survivor Series. But you would be surprised to hear what the original plan was for their match, as it was very different compared to what we saw on Sunday night. WWE surprised the world when Goldberg not only defeated Brock Lesnar, but he absolutely destroyed him, with Brock only getting one piece of offense in. And that was a shoulder tackle into the corner. Then he was pushed down violently, got up, turned around, and ate 2 spears, a jackhammer, and it was over. WWE had the match end very quickly, which no one saw coming. It was a cool and horrible idea all at the same time for the ideas and the concepts that I just mentioned. WWE did exactly as they wanted and got the world talking, not only about Goldberg, but about WWE itself. No one had ever dominated Brock that way before, and we're all wondering why WWE would even consider such a finish, as there was no way that was the plan all along. I told you what the plan was all along. Goldberg was not going to be signed to WWE, and he knew going into this he was going to lose. It was only then Vince McMahon, heard from Goldberg, no, I don't want to resign. I don't want more matches. This is it for me. Vince McMahon was in a rage because he wanted Goldberg to sign, and with every no that Goldberg gave Vince McMahon, it was like Vince McMahon can't get what he wanted, and he went harder and harder and harder, and that's when he came up with this idea. Let's beat him in a minute. We know that you're not 100%, and we'll take it from there. We'll put you in the Rumble. You'll heal up. You'll get gym ready. You'll get your cardio up. You'll get in shape even better. We'll come back at WrestleMania and do the real match then. And that's what they agreed upon. Goldberg was happy. He was making money. He was in there with a good friend. Lesnar didn't care. Lesnar was willing to lay down and be beat in a minute. He's getting paid to go into Sunday night, work for a minute, get paid all that money that he's making from WWE and go home, back to Canada. Brock Lesnar was the happiest guy on the fucking face of the earth. Goldberg gets what he wants. Vince McMahon gets what he wants. People talking about WWE. People all over social media trending WWE. People are talking about WWE more now than they have all year. Everybody, Lesnar, Heyman, Goldberg, McMahon, WWE, everybody got what they wanted. So, business-wise, it was a great move. I just don't appreciate Vince McMahon treating the fans like fucking imbeciles. That's what I have a problem with. But the plan all along was for Goldberg to lose until Vince McMahon became a little child who couldn't get what he wanted and then came up with the idea of what we seen on Sunday night. Apparently, it was not the first plan. Goldberg was only signed up for Survivor Series with no dates after WWE Raw the very next night, where he was going to walk away for good. Before the event, however, WWE managed to talk with Goldberg about possibly sticking around longer, which he agreed to. This was after Brock Lesnar himself suggested they do a few matches together, with the end happening at WrestleMania. This led to a finish we saw at Survivor Series, but the original plan for the event before all this happened was very unique. According to Ringside News, there was an idea pitched that the match was a real fight, was going to be a real fight, MMA fight, with the announcers calling it like an MMA UFC fight, and the finish would have been something that we normally see in those promotions. It would have been an MMA UFC style finish. Something similar to what we saw happen with Randy Orton at SummerSlam, but without the open elbow shots to bust someone open, of course. We very well could have seen a Brock Lesnar win out of all this. Now, if you went into a real UFC shoot fight with Lesnar and Goldberg, I don't think Goldberg's going to come out on top, being that he had an injured shoulder going in, and you're just not going to beat a Brock Lesnar who came off, very dominant win over at UFC 200. You're not going to beat Brock Lesnar, who was 37 years old, going up against a 50-year-old Goldberg in a MMA UFC style fight. Not going to happen. That was the original plan. Okay? We could have seen a Lesnar win out of all this, which would have made sense due to him sticking around and Goldberg leaving. This would have tied the series between the two, as Goldberg won the first match at WrestleMania 20, while Lesnar would have won at Survivor Series. Now the match here is 2-0 in Goldberg's favor, which makes another match with Lesnar sort of useless in theory, which I talked about. And then Jim Ross mentioned it as I listened to this on Saturday. And if they go into Mania and Lesnar wins, is WWE going to pursue another match? How much more could they do? How can they make the match at WrestleMania different somewhere else down the line? I don't want them to do this and have it be overkill. They need to go into this with ideas in mind. If you're going to do a fourth match, It's got to be different. It's got to be unique. It's got to be something that's going to be different than what we've seen at Survivor Series, when the two are in the Rumble, when they're at WrestleMania. If they're going to do it at SummerSlam in New York City, obviously it's going to sell tickets. But do you really want Lesnar's only feud to last a fucking half a year, going into the 9th month of the year in August, or 8th month of the year in August, with Bill Goldberg? I don't know, man. I really don't know about that. Let's set up the storyline that Lesnar does win at WrestleMania 33, which is fine. He would have lost the series rather than won it. So really, is there a need for a third match if Lesnar lost the first and second? It's like WWE having 2 out of 3 falls match where someone wins the first 2 falls and they're still allowed the match to continue. Once you win twice in a 3-match series, it's done. It's over. The 3-match series is finite. It's over. This is why WWE might not be done with these two at WrestleMania. They very well could go for a few more matches, with the conclusion even happening at Survivor Series next year. That would be even worse. Right now, no one knows how long Goldberg will stick around. He's only contracted to WrestleMania. Well, if it's going to last that long, one of these guys is going to have the world title for whichever brand they're on. Easily. I could easily see that happening. Right now, no one knows how long Goldberg will stick around. He's only contracted to WrestleMania, and that's it. I reported that if he feels okay after WrestleMania, Goldberg thinks he might resign. So we'll see what happens with that. It's definitely a play-by-ear situation. If WWE can manage to keep him around on a deal similar to Brock's, then it is likely we'll see Goldberg for years to come on a regular basis. It's all depending on how he feels. While Goldberg is almost 50 years old, WWE has had people work with them that are older than that, including Flair. McMahon wrestled well into his 60s, off and on, Sting, etc., etc., Undertaker, etc., etc., Hogan. Bill Goldberg did not spend very long in wrestling before his last match. He spent a hot number of years with WCW, and then one with WWE. His body is not as beaten up as like a Ric Flair or a Hogan or a Sting. Plus, he looks exceptional for a man about to turn 50 with a muscular, defined physique. Goldberg probably could wrestle for years to come if he truly wanted to stay, and he stays healthy. The question is, does he want to wrestle for more than a few more matches? Also, will WWE want him to be around for much longer? It seems like they do, as Bill's run has been profitable, but we shall see what occurs and how Bill Goldberg feels after all of this is over. Meanwhile, Goldberg's rivalry with Brock Lesnar seems to be heating up rather than cooling off, and that is what's best for business right now, according to Vince McMahon, and that's where they're going to go. So, we got to deal with it, guys. That was the original plan. They thought of a possible shoot fight at WrestleMania, and then obviously, with how I described to you with Vince McMahon not being able to get what he wanted after Goldberg said no, 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 he came up with the idea and the concept. Brock was definitely on board with it. McMahon went with the idea, squash him in a minute, and they'll take it from there. People are buzzing. People are going to see these guys. People are going to pay to see Brock spill blood. You know, so I don't know how I will think about this after it's all over. I can only hope that WWE does right by this. I hope Lesnar, in the eyes of many people, because, you know, you look on YouTube, the fucking comment sections across various wrestling channels, nothing but garbage, dude. Lesnar sucks. Lesnar's dead. His push is over. Fuck Lesnar. I hope that when it really boils down to it, that Lesnar's push and his aura and Lesnar himself as a character is not really harmed by this at all. Ross said that Lesnar is not harmed whatsoever. I hope that's true, because my first thought was that how is Goldberg going to come back from this? Or how is Lesnar going to come back from this, rather? Goldberg is fucking sitting on cloud 9. He's happy that he's being booked like Goldberg of old. But how is Lesnar going to come back from this? That was my first thought. A lot of you guys thought the same thing. Do you think Lesnar is going to come back from this? Do you think Lesnar was harmed badly? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, man. Sound off in the comments below. I hope WWE works all this out. It certainly has the makings of something epic. I just hope they know what they're doing. And I stated this. This is something that needs to be different than whatever else WWE does on a daily, weekly basis, man. This needs long-term booking. Where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? Don't make it like everything else where everything else is booked week to week to week and there's no end game in sight. Make a plan, stick with it, have a conclusion thought out, get there, and give the fans something that is going to be fucking worthwhile in the end. That's it. I hope they are on that road. That's all we can hope for. If not, I've stated it and I'm going to state it again. WWE is going to fucking shit their bed and they got to lay in it. And I don't want to see that happen. I really don't. SmackDown to feature more angles between superstars and Daniel Bryan. One of, if not, the most popular decision the WWE made in conjunction with the brand split was appointing Daniel Bryan as the new general manager of SmackDown Live. I agree. After all, it was SmackDown's declining ratings that ignited the brand extension to force Vince McMahon and company to relocate the blue brand to Tuesday nights with a new live format. Adding Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon as authority roles on SmackDown made it that much more of an attractive brand of television, as the two promised fresh matchups and new opportunities, which they have delivered on. And this is why, to me, SmackDown is the A show. Raw is doing nothing as in regards to giving me fresh matchups and new opportunities. At all. At all. Just look at their tag team and women's division, staring you right in the face. They go against everything that the brand extension was supposed to be about. Originally, Shane was only scheduled to return for WrestleMania season, but his skyrocketing popularity extended his stay. And while the shine has worn off a bit since his shocking reemergence in February, another Marquee Mania program will boost his stock right back up. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan was forced to retire from in-ring competition, ironically just 2 weeks prior to Shane's return to the WWE. Both of those segments happened on Monday Night Raw, but the two now rule SmackDown, with Commissioner Shane McMahon appointing Bryan as his new brand general manager the night before they made their selections in the brand extension draft. As noted, SmackDown was promising new opportunities for both veteran and young stars alike. Part of that opportunity included the introduction of Talking Smack, SmackDown's weekly post-game show hosted by Renee Young and, of course, Daniel Bryan. But it also features rotating guests, generally SmackDown superstars who will feature prominently in that week's show. Talking Smack has provided the WWE Universe with some heated discussions and memorable moments, making the show as much of appointment viewing as SmackDown itself. And most of, if not all of, those segments have included Daniel Bryan right in the middle of them. Corbin, Miz, the list goes on, even Cena. Whether by design or natural selection, they have certainly resulted in compelling television, which is why it was a little puzzling to some why they pushed the show back an hour to allow 205 Live to immediately follow SmackDown on Tuesday nights. WWE officials have taken notice, and according to Cage Side Seats, the creative staff will continue to book angles between Bryan and other SmackDown superstars indefinitely. WWE management has been impressed with Bryan's ability to add layers to current storylines, so he'll stay right in the thick of things for some significant feuds moving forward. As we see right now, Baron Corbin, he's continuing his feud with The Miz, and who knows who else is to come following those two. I'll give you my thought in a second. Of course, Daniel's most notable angle since assuming the role as SmackDown GM has come with, like I said, The Miz. The two pushed the limits and blurred lines between work and shoot back in August on Talking Smack, and that boiled over into scripted storytelling. Originally, Vince McMahon wasn't thrilled with the work-shoot segment because he doesn't like teasing something that can't be paid off. But even though Bryan isn't able to wrestle, he's been cleared by 3 doctors. WWE will not clear him. They've been able to script a protagonist-antagonist program that's elevated Miz in the process. Daniel Bryan has admitted on several occasions on different platforms that even though he'd rather have someone like Cesaro than The Miz on SmackDown, you can't deny that the brand split has reinvigorated the career of The Miz. In addition to the feud with Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan is largely responsible for that resurgence. Can't argue that at all. We've also seen in recent weeks that they've been using a similar formula with Baron Corbin to help the Lone Wolf establish himself on SmackDown. The only thing with Baron Corbin is not even on the same planet as The Miz promo-wise. He needs to work on the promos, man. Baron Corbin sounds way too overly scripted. You know, I don't like his mannerisms either when he's talking. It's like he's like fucking dancing. You know, what the fuck is that? You ever see that shit? You know, I don't know. He gets in someone's face like he's gonna fucking snuff him out. I don't know what's going on with that, but Baron Corbin really needs to just fucking relax and come at him in a more natural tone and a natural demeanor. It's like he's overcompensating. He's trying too hard. You know, be yourself. You know, when you're yourself and you're relaxed, the promo comes off beautiful. And I don't sit there cringing. So he needs to work on that, man. Other than that, Baron Corbin's got tremendous upside, and I've said that for months. And I hope to see him grow. It's definitely one of the best parts of SmackDown, seeing the young guys grow. Now we just got to get Apollo Crews on board. We've also seen in recent weeks, like I said, they've been using that formula with Baron Corbin. WWE officials believe Bryan can help get other superstars over, so we should expect him to be involved in more going forward on SmackDown, because it's extremely unlikely that Daniel would ever turn into a heel GM. It seems that only current heels will benefit from being booked with him in the capacity being described. Honestly, WWE is teasing, going back and forth, man. They're entering that gray area with Daniel Bryan. You know, if this keeps up, you know, who's to say WWE won't allow Daniel Bryan back in the ring? You know, I could definitely see Daniel Bryan coming back to the ring. Whether it's one match, whether they allow him to wrestle on a part-time basis, you know. I could see Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, man. And the logical thing here with the going back and forth between The Miz and Daniel Bryan, it's going to result in a match. If you want a big money match, if you want to build WrestleMania up as this fucking can't miss, unbelievable, epic fucking event, Daniel Bryan wrestling on top of Goldberg and Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker and John Cena that's being rumored. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, man, I you know, that's not my my number one opponent for Daniel Bryan, but, you know, being that WWE won't let him wrestle at all, and WWE thinks, or Daniel Bryan at least thinks, The Miz is too safe in the ring, there's no better superstar to get in the ring with Daniel Bryan to make sure that he is okay coming out of a match. A safe Miz versus Daniel Bryan, I'd be on board with that, especially the promo work. Every time these guys had a microphone in their hand, man, it is emotional. You're invested in what these guys are talking about. Seriously. The Miz TV segment with Daniel Bryan, where he came out and he announced the Survivor Series teams and Miz wasn't on it. Daniel Bryan and The Miz going back and forth was brilliant on there, man. Best part of that SmackDown. And I could definitely see them doing more with these guys, and I would love to see them do more with both Bryan and Miz, which eventually leads to a match. I don't know if it's going to happen. It might be a pipe dream, but if there's one guy on the roster right now, and I know it's not the most popular decision, I would not be opposed to seeing The Miz versus Daniel Bryan at all, and having this conclude at WrestleMania. You know, if WWE wants to build a story where The Miz continues week after week after week to get under Daniel Bryan's skin and defy him, you know, and just poke fun at him not wrestling and him being the greatest Intercontinental Champion, him, you know, having the title that Daniel Bryan had to give up, continue to build upon that. You know, WWE for one night should allow him to get back in the ring. I think it's worth it. If he got cleared by 3 fucking doctors, I think that's more than enough for WWE to be okay with him getting in the ring at least one more time. That's just the way I'm thinking about it. But Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, I want to see more of him. Whatever they're doing with him is working, and it's fucking damn good stuff, man. It's very, very entertaining. So Daniel Bryan looking to be more involved, building up new stars, up-and-coming stars on SmackDown, you know, and that's a great role for him. Can't wait to see what they do. Cesaro leaving WWE, the Swiss Superman vents big time on social media. Since his debut in 2012, Cesaro has been one of WWE's most popular wrestlers among so-called smart marks. Everybody calls me a smart mark. No, I'm just smart. I'm one with logic and common sense. Okay? I know what I'm talking about. It's not like I come on here and fucking bash everybody that, you know, everybody likes, you know. I bash the fucking political corporate puppets. The Reigns, you know, the Cenas, you know, here and there. Cena's okay to me, you know, but, you know, the Roman Reigns, you know, guys like that, you know. I'm smart, but popular smart marks, you know, Cesaro is very popular with. And listen, if you're a fan of wrestling, you don't got to be a smart mark. You know Cesaro is fucking talented. You know he's one of the best that this company has. And they're not utilizing him. Period. He still made his way from the upper mid-card to the main event in his recent odd couple partnership with Sheamus. And that has drawn mixed reviews at best amongst fans and wrestling journalists. And with the Swiss Superman conspicuously absent from a WWE poster for a show in his home country, he's taken to Twitter once again to rant about how he can't get any respect from WWE. Does this mean Cesaro is leaving WWE or at least the Raw brand at some point in the future? Well, they're damn near fucking teasing it. They're teasing it a damn good bit, man. Indie wrestling veteran Claudio Castagnoli signed with WWE in 2011 and debuted on the main roster in the spring of 2012 as Antonio Cesaro, a ring name that has been shortened since to just simply Cesaro. He was immediately given a strong mid-card push, and it took 4 months for him to win the WWE United States Championship. And while that would usually suggest a big-time push in the making, he's mostly been running in place in the mid-card and hasn't been mentioned by WWE Chairman Vince McMahon as someone who can connect with the audience, or in Vince's words, someone who can't capture the so-called brass rings, which are nothing but imaginary in WWE. Just like CM Punk stated. And that's what they are. They're imaginary. There's no brass rings. Otherwise, Ziggler would be in the main event. And Bray Wyatt would be in the main event. And Zayn would be in the main event. Guys like that, you know? If you're not a Roman Reigns and a John Cena and a Seth Rollins and a Roman Reigns, you know? You're not going to be in the main event. Oh, but JD, what about AJ Styles, man? AJ Styles is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. You gotta be a fucking complete asshole to not see the talent that this guy has, man. WWE, they weren't gonna do shit with AJ Styles. AJ Styles got over, and it's one of those rare occasions where WWE's like, oh, I think we struck gold here, guys. AJ Styles. I think we should push him, man. Oh, you're done? Why? All right, good job. You know? It's one of those situations, you know, but once in a lifetime with AJ Styles. Everybody else, you know, it's Nakamura. I'm worried about Nakamura, Joe, Samoa Joe, Sami Zayn. You know, look what happened to Neville. These guys are fucking great talents. You know, they're not on the level of an AJ Styles, those two guys, Neville and Zayn, but they're fucking talented fucking guys. Why aren't they being pushed? The brass rings, they're imaginary, you know? Sami Zayn has had some of the best matches in WWE all year, you know? He actually went one-on-one with AJ Styles in Los Angeles on Monday Night Raw. One of the best matches on Monday Night Raw in 2016. Guy fucking brought Kevin Owens to 2 Match of the Year candidates. He was in a Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship, which was one of the best matches of the year, right? What was that, a Payback? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even care. Raw sucks. But Sami Zayn, Nakamura, right? Where's this guy? Nowhere. So, he falls into the same category as Cesaro. He's not being pushed because whoever in WWE is pulling the strings, they don't like Cesaro. Kevin Dunn. Cesaro can't speak English. You know? He doesn't come off well on the microphone. He don't like his accent. You know? Kevin Dunn and those guys don't like Cesaro because he's too good at what he does. He puts everybody else on the roster to shame. That's why. And I don't understand what other reason there would be. He doesn't connect with the fans. I don't know. I've stated this about the cruiserweights. You know, they're not connecting with the fans because you fucked them up. How can Cesaro connect with the fans if you give him something and then you take it away? You give him something and take it away. Rinse and repeat. Cruiserweights aren't getting over on Monday Night Raw. I stated this on fucking NXT TakeOver review when I did Toronto review, right? You put Cedric Alexander and Kota Ibushi from the Cruiserweight Classic in the main event of Monday Night Raw. The same exact match that they had in the Cruiserweight Classic. That fucking match of the year candidate. You take Kota Ibushi versus TJ Perkins. Kota Ibushi versus Bryan Kendrick. Any one of those matches, you put it in the main event of Monday Night Raw with no fucking commercials. You mean to tell me those guys aren't going to get over? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And you give the audience people like that, you know, wrestlers in the audience alike, you give them quality content like that week after week, people will get on board. People will get on board because people will say, you know what? This guy's fucking good. This guy's great. You know, where's this guy been at? No, but WWE doesn't do that. Not cruiserweights for 2 minutes. You know, we'll put Cesaro in a meaningless match with Kofi Kingston. Really? Give me a fucking break, dude. Awful. Absolutely awful. In 2015, Cesaro spoke to WWE and touched on McMahon's comments. And while the interview has been pulled from the company's website, WrestleZone quoted some of Cesaro's more memorable remarks. You can't really reason or explain something, he said, because once people get a certain impression, that's really hard to change. With anything, it's kind of similar here, in that the only way to respond to such an outlandish comment is to prove it wrong, and that's what I am doing. Fast forward to 2016, and it would still appear Cesaro's role in WWE has him far from grabbing those brass rings. He hasn't been a serious contender for any singles title since July's brand split. And while his best of 7 with Sheamus drew raves from fans, especially that 7th match, many were confused as to why the deciding 7th match ended in a draw and why both men were asked to team with each other. Because WWE is clueless. Absolutely clueless. You know, that was meant, Cesaro was down 3-0 for a reason. You know? And then he wins the 4th match, he wins the 5th match, he wins the 6th match, and then it's tied 3-3. WWE thought that, you know, well, if he's going to win the 4th match, then we're harming Sheamus because Sheamus lost 4 in a row. And what if Cesaro doesn't get over by winning the 4th match? What if he remains the same? You know? So they were worried, and the best idea they thought they came up with, because of the reasons that I just gave you, let's put them together. We'll make it a draw, we'll put them together, because we don't want to push Cesaro. We're afraid that it's not going to get over, and we don't want to harm Sheamus by losing 4 matches in a row, making him look like a complete fucking goon. So that's why they put them together. No question in my mind. But I'm enjoying them, to be quite honest with you. You know, it took me a little bit to see what the fuck they were doing, but they're a damn good team together. They work very well together. And I've always been a fan of Sheamus. His character's fucking boring. But what he does in the ring is great. Same thing with Cesaro. I like Cesaro all around, man. I think Cesaro should be fucking main event, challenger for the Universal Championship. Don't know why, you know? Don't know why. For what it's worth, Cesaro and Sheamus were the sole survivors when Team Raw beat SmackDown in the tag team elimination match at Survivor Series, which was great. Usos and Cesaro and Sheamus. That was a great conclusion to that otherwise boring match. It was just fucking rapid elimination. I don't like it. Boring, you know? But they were the sole survivors. They went 2-on-2 with the Usos. They were given a title shot the next night on Monday Night Raw against the New Day. And when the New Day retained their World Tag Team titles by cheating, as always, Cesaro posted cryptic messages on Twitter hinting at some frustration. The Daily DDT speculated that the tweet could suggest Cesaro wanting to leave WWE due to a frustration with his lack of push and muddled creative direction. Further, the publication criticized that Cesaro-Sheamus tag team partnership as never making much sense and possibly serving as a way for WWE to give both men television time without allowing them to compete for singles title. That's also true as well, because they had nothing for these guys. Nothing. So they went from the bottom of the barrel to here as a tag team. Because they had no direction, they had no creative direction. WWE creative had no plans for these guys, so they put them together, and they still have nothing to do. And they've lost to the New Day now, and title opportunity after title opportunity. They haven't got the titles. What's the point? What is the point? They are going nowhere. And it's just rinse and repeat every single week. On Friday, Cesaro had taken to Twitter once again to share a photo of a WWE Live poster advertising shows in Zurich, Switzerland, and in Germany in May 2017. Now, he might be looking into this a little bit. You know, these graphics that were made up by WWE. They could always go back and add him. You know, some fucking asshole probably thought he was, trying to be funny, and then add Cesaro, and then they might add Cesaro at a later date. I can't see WWE not putting their hometown guy in Switzerland on a poster for a WWE Live event and a house show. I mean, for the fucking love of Christ, they brought out Noam Dar on Monday Night Raw. Who the fuck is Noam Dar to the WWE audience? They gave him a nice homecoming on Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks back, right? Why wouldn't they do that for Cesaro? He pointed out that he wasn't on the poster despite one of the shows taking place in his home country of Switzerland, though he curiously did mention that his own tag team partner, Sheamus, was included. Sheamus was included, and Cesaro was not. It's fucked up. Just the thought of it. Upon printing this, it's fucked up. I would be upset too. Other tag teams such as the New Day and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson even made the fucking picture in the WWE poster. Same with the currently injured Finn Balor. Balor's not even on the fucking touring roster right now because he's hurt. And he's on the fucking poster. Unbelievable. As the show is more than 5 months away, anything can happen in terms of WWE storylines. Lineups for house shows booked that far into the future are always subject to change. After all, but with 2 angstful Twitter posts in the same week, once again hinting that he could be feeling some real-life frustrations, the rumor of Cesaro leaving WWE are swirling once again. Is the wrestler, who's earned praise for his technical skill and amazing strength for his size, planning to leave once his contract comes up? For one, the Twitter rants may be for storyline purposes, which I think this is a way to get him on SmackDown, to be perfectly honest. In September, 411 Mania reported that a Twitter exchange between Cesaro and SmackDown Live general manager Daniel Bryan, where Bryan asked Cesaro when his Raw contract expires. Earlier this week, Bryan had again responded to Cesaro's "tired of it" tweet, extending a second invitation to SmackDown brand. Still, the Daily DDT did note that prior to this week, the Swiss Superman hadn't ranted about WWE in a non-scripted manner, which may add to the chances of Cesaro leaving WWE. Should the new comments be unscripted and a shoot, it's tough to call given what we know about the 35-year-old mid-card mainstay, but given what he brings to the table, a lot of fans are hoping that Cesaro's recent comments are only storyline related. I think this is all storyline. WWE has their wrestlers' Twitters heavily monitored. For Cesaro to say something like that, and then Daniel Bryan to pretty much, especially Daniel Bryan being one of the biggest figureheads in the company, one of the most popular wrestlers, if not the most popular entity in that fucking company, period. Why would he pretty much instigate and antagonize Cesaro with a tweet to follow up with that? I think it's all storyline. I think this is a way for WWE to get Cesaro on SmackDown. Maybe, we come up with some type of trade and Cesaro goes to SmackDown. I don't know. I can only hope for that, because if Cesaro leaves WWE, they are absolutely fucking retarded. Retarded. No fucking problem why Cesaro should not be higher up on the card. Should be fighting for fucking Universal titles. Should be fucking United States champion. Should be a fucking... I would love to see Cesaro with the United States championship and give me a United States Open challenge every fucking week, man. There's no better candidate for an open challenge than Cesaro every fucking week. Come on, man. Seriously. If he leaves the WWE, huge loss. Huge loss. But I honestly think I'm going with this being a way for WWE to weave this into a storyline and get him on SmackDown. Otherwise, I don't think Daniel Bryan would have said anything at all. That's just my honest opinion on that. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Cesaro leaving the WWE. And finally, guys, for this week's podcast, Cody Rhodes, who I was a big fan of dashing Cody Rhodes, and I'm becoming even more of a fan of what he's doing everywhere else that he's working. Evolve, TNA, now he's working for fucking Global Force Wrestling. He's doing his thing in not GCW, that's fucking my universe mode, WCPW, Cody Rhodes wanted to be himself in WWE. They didn't allow it. They didn't want it. McMahon, Triple H didn't want it. So he asked for his release. They granted it. Shitty. Absolutely shitty. Top quality talent let go because WWE is too fucking stubborn to let their talent give them feedback on what they want to do and work with creating something different. He didn't want to be Stardust anymore. A lot of wrestlers around the globe are attempting to get into the WWE. There are some who end up leaving the company for various reasons. Cody Rhodes, a.k.a. Stardust, spent a long time in the biggest wrestling organization in the world, but has since parted ways with them to do different things. This weekend, he stepped into the ring for the first time with Global Force Wrestling and ended up winning one of their top... I didn't even know Global Force Wrestling was still around. Holy shit. Winning one of their top titles. This weekend, Cody Rhodes made his debut for Global Force Wrestling in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and faced off against Sonjay Dutt. The match took place at WrestleCade's Showcase of Champions and was a great one. According to WrestleZone.com, the match against Dutt was for the GFW Next Gen Championship, and Cody Rhodes is happy it was. At the end of the night, and a great match, he ended up taking the belt home from Dutt and winning the championship in Jeff Jarrett's promotion. After the match, Rhodes took the mic and spoke to the crowd to give them some advice his father Dusty had shared with him. That is when he said that Dusty said sometimes the title makes the man, and that other times the man makes the title. From this point on, Cody Rhodes intends on finding out which one of those he is. He's already planning on defending his newly won Global Force Wrestling Next Gen title at an event and won't even be put on by GFW. Rhodes is facing off against Michael Richard Blas. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I never heard of this guy before. Blas in the main event for Prairie Wrestling Alliance's Christmas Slam. That right there goes to show you that he is going to be a wrestling champion and not simply let it rest on a shelf between GFW events. Rhodes wants to defend his title and make sure that he is giving it his all and putting it all on the line with each match that he takes. He plans on defending it week in and week out, which is the difference between him and other wrestlers. Cody Rhodes considers himself to be an independent contractor, which means he will do what he wants when he wants. As reported by the Bleeding Cool newsletter, Cody Rhodes confirmed a few days ago that he will compete at Ring of Honor's Final Battle on December 2nd, 2016, an event some of you guys have actually stated that I should cover. I don't watch Ring of Honor, so I don't know what sense it would make. The match will be a good one as Rhodes will take on a longtime veteran of various promotions in Jay Lethal, who I think is coming to the WWE in 2017. Since parting ways with WWE back in May, Rhodes has really taken on a lot of work and made sure to stay in the public eye. He has wrestled for TNA Impact Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Evolve, and other independent events. His debut for Global Force Wrestling was obviously one of the more successful and had to be rather frustrating for Sonjay Dutt. Now he's heading out to take on anyone and everyone that will step in his path. Cody Rhodes is an extremely talented superstar who comes from a very cherished wrestling family that has a storied history in this profession. When he was turned into Stardust, it worked for a while in WWE. Yeah, when he was teaming with Goldust, and ever since he broke away from his brother, it didn't work. Even their feud fell apart at the seams, and WWE did it completely fucking wrong. He just didn't want to do that forever. It worked for a little bit, but he didn't want to do it forever. Now, Rhodes is out on his own and having some decent success in other promotions. One can't say that winning the Next Gen Championship in his first match at Global Force Wrestling is anything but a great start. Cody Rhodes, continue doing what you're doing, man. If, he didn't burn any bridges, as far as I know, leaving WWE. If Cody Rhodes continues to be successful and shows WWE that, listen, this is me, and I can be successful being me, there's always going to be a door open for him to come back. Cody Rhodes will be back in the WWE. He's going to continue showing the world that he loves wrestling, that he's great at it, and he's going to continue being successful wherever he goes, man. He's going to make his money. He's obviously got a huge fucking name and a huge following. He's going to do it, and I'm happy for him, I love to hear guys finding success outside of WWE because it only shows that WWE is fucking stupid in letting these guys go, and it's stupid because it shows you how fucking weak and pathetic their creative direction is. How can't you find anything to do with Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes would have been absolutely brilliant on SmackDown. Don't know why. Damien Sandow would have been brilliant on SmackDown. Don't know why. Don't know why. Guys like that, it sucks to see them go. Because those guys had it and could have went far. Especially with the brand split. WWE needed talent, right? And look what they did. They let Cody Rhodes go. They let Sandow go. And now they're fucking begging for talent to bolster these rosters. They don't want to fucking kill NXT in the meantime. So WWE looks foolish in the end. Good for Cody Rhodes. Hope he finds success. And eventually, with all the success that he's going to have plus more, he's going to be back in WWE because they always realize what they have lost, man. Distance and time away makes the heart grow fonder. That's what's going to happen here. Cody Rhodes will be back in the WWE before all is said and done after he shows WWE that Cody, not Stardust, can be successful. That is off the script, guys. Thank you so much for everything this weekend. Once again, get your t-shirts, barbershop window. 30% off, man. You can't beat that shit. 30% off. Black Friday is the code at checkout. You got till Tuesday at 12 p.m., man. There are several designs on the website. JD is Negan is blowing up. So if you guys want to get your own, JD is Negan, and the Get Off My TV line, you got the Goon City design. You got the original gray off-the-script logo. Get yours today. Barbershopwindow.com. Use the code Black Friday for 30% off. WWE Slam Crate by Loot Crate, official partner of Off the Script. Make sure you guys get yours in time and order yours in time for the holiday season. They will be shipping out right before Christmas. Make sure you guys get yours today. Use the link that I provide down below and use the code JD from NY at checkout to save yourself 10% off your subscription, man. That is WWE Slam Crate by Loot Crate. WrestleCrate.com. Make sure you guys check out WrestleCrate, man. Right now, in the war of the subscription boxes, WrestleCrate is winning 1-0. WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. Use the code JDSentMe for 10% off. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Same thing. JD from NY206. If you guys don't want to buy a t-shirt to support the show and the podcast and the channel, Patreon.com. Thank you to everybody that's pledged this week. You guys are getting off the script early, man, and new rewards coming very soon. T-shirts going to be ordered this weekend thanks to the Black Friday sale. You guys are going to be getting your shirts. You guys are going to be getting custom-made postcards. Hopefully in the future I'm going to have postcards for Off the Script made up. I'm going to go all out for you guys. I'm going to create some new rewards for Patreon. Right now, you're getting Off the Script early. This video will be up early for patrons. So if you guys want to support the podcast, if you guys want to support my journey here on YouTube, if you guys want to support me and everything that I do on this channel, patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you want to become a member, all you got to do is visit the link down below in the description. And that is pretty much it, guys. That is everything. Thank you so much for Off the Script this weekend. I'll be back with Monday Night Raw review, and I'll be back right here for the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com Off the Script on Friday for episode 146. I am JD. Hit that thumbs up for me, and I'll see you guys from Monday Night Raw.